Hello guys, welcome to Ben's blog. Now today we're going to talk about the D350, which is the AVR for LEROY SOMER. This one is a digital AVR which can be used for synchronizing, and for now we can talk about this AVR, the all options that we can install. This one where we can connect and how we can do the configurations. This one I have the blogs for that, and you can relate for that, or you can rely for that in my previous blogs about this kind of AVR, how we can do the configurations, how we can do the voltage adjustment, because this one is having the voltage adjustments external, and you can also adjust this one through your laptop. For example, this AVR is you need some adjustment, you can adjust through the software for the laptop, and this one also is you can connect through the NFC, what we call NFC, the NFC, that one via, I think that is correct me if I'm wrong, that is through infrared, I think, or now in these blogs all we're going to talk about the specifications and everything, and what is the options we can install about this kind of AVR. So if you have some doubts or questions, just comment down below so we can talk about it, and we can share those we don't know yet, those functionality. If you know something, just open up and share with us so we can talk about it also. So now let's start so we can do more about this kind of AVR. So okay guys, so now we are here in our digital voltage regulator. So here is the identification sheets of this AVR. So I'll just show you the picture for a while. So this is our D350 AVR, and this one is digital AVR, which is from LEROY SOMER. So now let's take a look for the presentations for this AVR. So the AVR, the D350 AVR is manually describes as how to install and set up and maintain the D350 AVR. So this purpose of the AVR is to regulate the alternators with the field of currents of less than 5 amps. So most common that one on the AVRs what you're using is 5 amps, and it is the maximum 14 amps for only for the split seconds for around 10 seconds for the short circuit. That is a standard for all AVR, I think, and it is designed for the accordance with the mounting and the generator terminal box or the controls cabinet. It is required for the minimum and follow local protections for the safety standard, especially for those specifications to electrical installations voltage to 300 VSC piston neutral maximum, and similarly to the AVR 250 and electronic printed circuit board protected with the polyurethane resin. It shows us the figure as below. So as you can see here, we have this kind of AVR, and we have the fusing. We have the two fuses here. This is the where you can install all the wirings, and let's talk about that one later on. So for now, this is the specifications of the fuse you can use in this AVR. So, and the standard using and everything is F1 is F2 is maximum 14 amps, so it is equivalent to 250 volts. This one is reference to this kind of a fuse, I think. This one Q20071T. So F2 is 10 amps and 250, and here is 8 amps to 50. I'm not sure with this UL applications, maybe underload like that. And F2 is 10 amps to 50. Okay, so let's jump up here. So this AVR D350 is have the NF link, or same like our in the speaker, no, NFC connections. We have this one is we have this this device here. So this is the one you can put it in our AVR. We have some have the designated like the slots here. You can insert as a drawing here like this here. So here is the slots you can insert the two, and this one will exactly insert these two here. So this one will allow to communicate through your laptop. So without this you cannot configure or communicate to your laptop. This is the one your like this is your USB connections to going to your laptop. Okay, so I will read it here. The NF link configuration module, the D350 AVR is equipped with NFC. So it seems like NFC we are using in our speaker. So this technology is for communications and configurations purposes. So this configuration modules is hereafter called NF link. So here in this AVR or in this LEROY SOMER AVR, this one is they called it as NF link, while in our common we hear this one for our speaker is this one is NFC connections. So just place in the plastics and enclosures thanks to the indicated positions holes as shown as below. This one. Okay, so once you connect to your laptop and open the applications for that, so I will tell you also what kind of applications we can install to our laptop. So holding the systems is placed on the button F links ensure the mechanical strength to hold the 350 plastic board. So okay, so same as the pictures like this here. So it is attached like this. Okay, so let's go to the characteristics of this AVR. So this technical characteristics of this AVR. So I've just read it here because I've just only shown you what is this AVR is. So the D350 AVR is the digital voltage regulator used to control the alternators from the field current to the output voltage loop. So without reactive loops, compensation loops allow the parallel operations, or with or without line drops is compensations. So meaning this one you can adjust the drop points of the voltage and everything, so there you can achieve the correct amount of what the voltage you are using, or in the applications for the synchronizings. So this one is good AVR and very accurate and very perfect for the synchronizing, which you can do everything as what you wanted for this AVR. So this one is designed for the you can control it or you can configure through the software. Okay, so 350 is also be used as adjust reference regulation progress in using the analog input, so the and potentiometer. So there's stated here that the analog input you can use by the synchronizing, which you can adjust automatically through the module. This one is 0 to 10 volts, and also you can use it both at the same time. If you're not using the analog, you can use it this one if you have the potentiometer. Same number, same slots you can insert the 2 wires for that. So monitoring for the temperature, so using here in this kind of AVR you can monitor the temperatures. So you can install only the PT100, which is I will tell you the slots for this for the connections for this temperatures, and limit the minimum field current, deliver the exceedance referred, monitor the maximum stator limit, lose the voltage sensing, withstand sudden short circuit at 10 seconds standard at the maximum, and RIP and PMG. Okay, so this is only the two connections where you can achieve this short circuit for 10 seconds. The rest of the connections, which is the standard connections only, like the shunt, this one is not capable of doing the short circuit. Okay, so the various trip regulation mode of the measurements data can be delivered into two digital output. So alternator voltage, so this is the sensing, so this is the range of your sensing. So trip is without neutral, so this is only like the delta connections like that. So two piece or single piece with neutral, three piece range to 0 to 530 volt AC. So you have the biggest range of your voltage sensing. I think this one is depends on the applications you can use it. So this one here stated the consumptions is 2 volt ampere. So stator currents measured with the CT range is 2. You can use this one is range to 0 to 1 amps, and also you can use it as 0 to 5 amps. So this is the standard CT you can use, and this one have the consumptions of 2 volt amperes. So power supply AC, the 4 terminals for PMG, RF, and shunt can be ranged up to 50 to 277 volt AC. So the consumptions of the consumption maximum, this one is 3000 volts ampere. DC uploading not managed by range of 50 to 400 VDC. Consumptions is 3000. So this one is okay. So the field excitations is rated as 0 to 5 amperes, and the short circuit is the maximum is 5 amps. Okay, so the field winding resistance is 4 ohms. Okay, so frequency is ranged to 10 to 100 hertz. So let's continue. The regulation accuracy is 25 plus minus at 0.25% of the average 3-phase on the linear load. So with the harmonic distortions is less than by 5%. So voltage adjustments is ranged to 0 to 150% of the rated voltage. Okay, so always they are referring for the rated voltage, which is what voltage you are using, the output voltage of your alternator. So that one is from 0 to 150% range. Okay, the protections and the quadrature drops adjustment range to minus 20% to 20 positive 20%. So standard at 1. And excitations, the under frequency protections integrated adjustable threshold loops for the 0 to 5 to 3 times volt hertz. It steps at 0.1 volts hertz. So if you rotate that one, it can be provided at 0.1 in every turn of your potentiometer. Okay, so excitation scaling adjusted by the configurations at 3 points. So environment, ambient temperature, this is what we call the working temperature of this AVR, is can be worked to 40 degrees to 65 degrees Celsius. Okay, so negative 40 to 65 degrees Celsius. So the relatively is less than at 95%. Okay, so AVR permanent setup using software is the Easy Rig. This is provided by the LEROY SOMER. This one you can go to the LEROY SOMER site. There you can install this kind of applications. This one is Easy Rig Advanced. Okay, so this one you can show like I will show you here. This is one here as Easy Rig. This one you have the 537. That is the applications for this kind of AVR. So this one is you can install to make or if you need some configurations of your laptop. So this is the software you are needed to in order to configure this AVR. So this one here is only the dimension. So let's jump up to the technical characteristics of this AVR. So this no, I've done already this one, so I think I okay. So wait for a while, I've lost already. So this is the specifications and the dimensions only. So let's go directly to our AVR, which we can see the connections. Okay, so here is the wiring connections to our AVR. Now the AVR's connections are not isolated against alternator stator's output. The risks of electrical shocks, all wiring connections operations must be performed by the qualified personnel. So if you are not qualified, do not try to attempt to do the wirings. But if you think that you are qualified to doing of this electrical wiring and installations, then you go ahead. But take note that always follow the instructions and the wiring diagram for this kind of AVR. So to avoid it happen for the wrong connections, just always follow. Okay, so here alternator this 350 must be connected different measurement power control signals to ensure the proper regulations function. So they have their own designated connections, and also you can modify the connections. This one, it depends on the functionality or what is the purpose of what you are doing this one. So here is the alternator voltage measurements. So here also you can connect your UVW, which is this is the sensing input. Okay, so the alternator voltage sensing, that's what is stated here. So this is 3-phase sensing voltage. Okay, so UVW. So here, so it's stated here that the voltage transformer are mandatory if the alternator voltage is more than or higher enough to 480 volt AC RMS. So phase to phase, this one. So means in our term, this one is line to line. So if you exceed to 480 volt AC, so you need to install the transformer to ensure that it will work properly. So this one is the maximum of 530 VAC RMS, maximum to 10 seconds, or 270 VAC RMS between the phase neutral. So here is the connections I will show you. So if you have the transformer, this is the connections from your line, and this is going through your sensing. So if you have taken the line to line or face to face, so this one have your transformer, and then it is connected to the output after connections to VW. So you just take VW, this is your transformer, and the output is here. Okay, so here is without the transformer, so just connect directly to VW and also VW from your AVR side. So if the voltage is ranging from like to 20 to 400, so that one is not necessary for installing the transformer. So here is your 3-phase connections, and you have the UVW, and is your transformer. This one is, I think, your step down transformer, and UVW also, where you can connect without transformer. So here you can connect directly to the UVW connections. So let's jump up here to our digital voltage regulators. This one is what we call here is the input and output. Okay, so the D350 is equipped with the 1 digital input, 1 analog input, 1 temperature input, and this is as what I told you. This one we can install the sensor, which is what we call the PT100, and 2 digital output. This configure below gives you the overview of the inputs. Okay, this is all the connections you can use for your options, what you are needed. Okay, so here is our temperature sensor. So here is the slots for your compensations or your connections. Here is the RT, So here is your PT sensor. This is the temperature sensor to monitor the temperature itself of your AVR or your alternator windings. You can use that one, and it is connected to 0 to RTD. So RTD, so here 0 to RTD. So that one you have to activate in the configurations, but I just only show you here where you can connect that one, but you need to do the configurations this one in order to work, because you just connect without the configurations it's useless, it will not work. Okay, I'll just remind you, once you connect you have to do the configurations itself. Okay, here is the next is your PTC CP. So this one is also 0 to RTD. So if I read it here, so the temperature measurements reference to temperature input to -50 to 250 degree thresholds. So okay, so this one here, the PTC configurations can maximize values according to the sensors, creations of software's easy rig. I see you have to do the configurations to the AC rig. So the next here is the digital regulations. This one is the analog. Okay, the analog input can be configured as 2 modes. So here, as I told you, this one is 0 to A1. If I show you here, so this is in the first one, 0 to A1, 0 to I1, I think this one. Okay, so this is the one here, 0 to A1. So you can use this one if you have the voltage potentiometer, where you can adjust externally your voltage, and also you can use this one if you have the analog configurations for the paralleling. So here you can connect those wire for your signal through your module. So this one is your AVR side for your module, where you can connect to 0 to A1. Okay, so but make sure to config after that connections. Okay, so input defined as by the potentiometer to 0 to volt and the minimum of maximum limits. So analog input is non-isolated. It's digital out controlled with the constant of the maximum voltage to 24 VDC to 60 milliamps maximum. Okay, so here also this one is digital output. So this is maximum to 24 VDC only, you can apply it. And this one is here is stated that this one is normally open. Let's see, let's read it. There's configuration parameters, alarm, decorations, progress, activations mode. Normally open when it's active. So normally close is high, active high. Okay, so when active low, this one is normally open. When active high, it is normally close. Okay, so let's jump up here for your digital input. It should be controlled by the volt spray contacts. Okay, so this one you can use as any volt. This one is volt free contact, so you can use this one AC or DC. You can insert if for example you have some need the alarms, which is you can pop up to your module if necessary, or there is some options that you needed to use this one, you can use this one. So this one is configure destinations parameter control the coagulations mode to using the motor starting, which switch to second configurations. Activations, active low, same, active low is open and active high is closed. Okay, so this one is can be used for motor starting switch. So to avoid, I think you can use this one for the, for example, the excitations level, for boost, to boost the excitation level, you can use this one. Okay, so here is the power excitations, where you can connect this one. Here is your what we call the PMG, your RIP, and for your the rest of the connections. So we have here the if plus, if negative, which is designated from your exciter, and this one X2, XZ, this one is your RIP connections and your PMG connections. So I show you here, if 1 is for your negative excitations and positive excitation is the if 2. So PMG RFs, and this is okay. So this one is this power supply is to folder prodding the system will be in place to avoid damaging them. This total capacitor maximum prodding the current 2 amperes. I think this one is the for your diode. You have the positive and the negative. Okay, so here is the connections from your PMG and your RF. Okay, so here the maximum power supplies voltage is from 300 VAC between each connections by the point of X1, X2, Z1 and Z2. So okay, so we have the high or the H1, which is this one is the RF. As I stated before, that the excitations, type of excitations, here you can see this one is the X1 and X2, which is connected also here in your X1 and X2. This one is your auxiliary winding connections for the RF, and this one is the H3 is connected to H1, and H3 it's connected to Z2, Z1 I mean is connected to your G1. Okay, so this one is the RF connections. This is the designated number you can connect. Okay, so in the PMG also, here is the connections. You have to connect X1, X2, X1 I mean X2 and Z2. So this is a 3-phase connections, and the voltage should be ranged up to 300 volt AC. Okay, so rest of the other PMG is only around 110 to 120 voltage output. But in the LEROY SOMER, in this type of AVR, it can be applied to 300 VAC. So from the shunt connections, you can use it as X1 and X2. And this one is the single phase connections. Okay, so UV. So line to line. Okay, so phase to neutral also, you can use it here in the shunt connections also. X1 and X2, no problem. Okay, so this one is your connections from your drop CT, S1 and S2. This one here, I maybe you are confused for my what I see X1 and X2 from your phase to neutral. So here in your group is S1 and S2. So CT or PSU, this one you have to put it in the U always for your drop CT, and it is connected to your S1 and S2. So cable must be exceed to 100 meters length, and these cables they are designated cables from this one. So nothing more. I will find the specifications for this or the troubleshooting this one, so we can so here is the software. So this is the software. You can install this one. Just visit this one so you can install the applications here. That is progress compatible computers Windows from 7 to Windows 10. Okay, this is how you can install this one. This is will appear to your module once you installed already. You can select the language. They have only 2, English and Francis, and this one should be here like this. Okay, just click next and accept whatever. So here to install, so here see, just install, and this one it should be done like this, and it will like this easy rig as I show you before, and this one it should be like this. So you have the D350, so you can click the 3 because this one is 510 and this one is 7. Okay, this is the instruction only from your computer shows us where you can, here is the new configurations, here is the how to save, and it's the communications. Choose to open the files where you can. If you have the files already for that kind of configurations, you can select to this folder and find to your computer where it is installed or where you can hide this one in your folder. So click that one, and here is the home, and this one is the program conversations. Okay, here is the load parameters, means load you have to write. So this one you have to read. No, I'm mistaken. So this one is you have to take the file from the AVR, and this one is from the AVR, from the PC to AVR. So meaning you have to click this one in order to write your configurations. Okay, this one is the, if you want to reset the factory settings, this one you can click from here. Okay, once again, read, this one is write. Okay, so if you want to monitor the skill scope and everything, so here you can see also. So I think let's go through the troubleshooting for this one. So I just want to okay, so now I will show you the connections from this AVR. So this one is 6 leads, and this one is your F1, this one is your exciter field, and here the X1 X2, this one is for the shunt connection. Okay, you can use this one, 10 and 9, so you can find it here. So here is your T2 and T3, where you can, and the UVW, this is your 3P sensing from your line. If this one is 6 leads, you can use it even this one is 12 leads, it's okay, no problem with that. So let's see around here, this one is from your see, if you have the auxiliary winding, this one is the RF. So you have the RF connections here. This one is your high H1 and your H3. Okay, so this one is X1 X2, it is connected yellow and green. So Z1 and Z2, it is, this one is H3, this is connected red and black. Okay, standard. This one is always have the connections from your voltage sensing 3-phase, and the rest of it is, which is the note here, and okay, that is so simple, there is no problem with that. This is your drop connections, and this one is connected to your here. So let's, what happened to this? Okay, so let's go from the PMG connections. So here is your X1 X2 and Z2 is from your PMG connections. F1 if negative, if positive if negative, if your exciter, and always have the 3P sensing. It will not began, always connected. Okay, even if the RF connections, this 3P connections is there. Okay, so I think we are all done for this. So everything, even if the troubleshooting from this one is standard. So here, and just only this one is 3-piece clockwise, and everything can do. So this one is easy. So as I told you, that if you are doing this wiring and connections, you have to follow the manual and instructions of it, and all of the connections you've done, you have to do the configurations of this, and you have to activate, for example, the external potentiometer to work on that. And this one also, you can disable that one internally, so you can only adjust the voltage through your laptop. So once again, if you have some comments and doubt, you just ask, and ask questions down to our YT. And if you have a new things to ask or to do with something like the new we're going to talk about, so you just comment down below. So once again, Ben's Vlog is here. Thank you for watching, and see you again in my next vlog. Bye bye.